As the current sucked my body out of the boat, my knees bent back on themselves, and I could feel them breaking and tearing. And
but no
as
pain.
an orthopedic surgeon, I thought, gosh, that's interesting.
Right.
Not a good idea.
Right.
Well, tell us, so you go from I'm in a lot of pain to I'm in no pain to I've just drowned, and then what happened?
Well, I never had pain. I actually
You were in shock.
was struggling and working to pull the spray skirt off and get myself out of the boat. And when it became clear that that wasn't going to happen of my own doing, I really did give my spirit over to God and ask that God's will be done.
And what did you experience?
And I immediately experienced complete and absolute peace, calm. I had no pain. I felt great. And I was being held and comforted and reassured as then my body was sucked out of the boat and my spirit peeled away from my body.
And what were you aware of? You know, we always hear, there's a bright light, walk toward the light.
I was joyously greeted by this host of other people or spirits, whatever you want to call them. I had known them for an eternity, and they knew me. And they were so happy, and they did take me along this path to not a bright light, but this brilliant, beautiful hall of sorts, like a big domed entrance hall.
Was that heaven?
I think it was. It was joyous, and this, not only the people who were guiding me, but this hall was brilliantly exploding with such intense love, and it was God's love.
So how did you get the signal to go back?
Well, I could hardly wait to get there. And then at a certain point, the people who had been guiding me told me that it wasn't my time, that I had more work to do on Earth, and I had to come back.
And your feelings now about that?
Well, I won't say that I would hasten it, but I can hardly wait to go back.
It's not a scary
That's
thing.
really
Dying is not a scary thing to you now.
Absolutely not. I am not only not afraid to die, but I know that there really is life after death, and God really does love us, have a plan for us, and works in our lives, which means that every day really does matter. When you know that there's something else,
right,
you better make the most of every day and get about the business of following your plan.
And what's your mission?
I was sent back with a number of mandates, one of which was to share my story, so that
check
other
that
people,
one off.
Right, exactly. And in sharing that story, it really brings God to each person's life.
Right. We understand one of the other tasks was protect your husband's health.
Yes, and then also really provide the stability of support for not only our community but people across the country when my oldest son was killed, which turned out to be this, I mean, certainly very sad, and that part of the grief doesn't go away, but turned out to be this magnificent, inspirational event for many people across the country to really make a difference in their own communities.
So now you know you'll someday see him again.
Absolutely. And I know that he didn't have pain, and he was joyously greeted, and I'm very sure that he didn't want to come back either. Because I certainly didn't.
Wow.
Well, Dr. Mary Neal, you've written the book To Heaven and Back, and I know we had
what a story.
Yeah, it's a great story. I look forward to talking to you again, and I'm sure this will be a bestseller.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
And when's the next time you got a kayak?
I kayak all the time.
You still kayak?
I love boating.
Amazing.
That is, what a story. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.